Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk About It. This is Susan Johnson, and I'm here with my co-host, Dennis O'Brien, and have we got a great guest for you this evening. Right, Dennis?
Yes, we got David Foster.
All right, David, thank you so much for being on the show.
We'd like to thank you both for bailing me out of jail. I really appreciate it. And, I think Matt had something to do with it. I think he made a call for me on my behalf. But anyway, yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everybody's doing great out there in Willie Land.
Yes, indeed, and we have some great information about what's going to happen with Shaboo Productions, with the Shaboo reunion, and tell us some more about that. What's going on, David?
Well, it's relentless responsibility of keeping that soup kitchen going.
Yes, thank you for that.
So that's what I do is I do my Shaboo reunions for Kimberly Clark's fabulous soup kitchen here in Willimantic, and she's feeding so many people and doing so many wonderful things and creating so many blessings for so many people that are challenged. I'm doing everything I can to try to help her. 'Cause, it's hard because it doesn't take in any money, as we all know. It just costs money to operate it. And now what happens is with the food share, they used to deliver the food for free. Now they have to pay for it.
Oh boy, that's difficult. Well, I just want to thank you first of all for your focus on helping the people here with respect to the soup kitchen. Let's go back a few years to when you actually paid off the building.
Which one? All three?
Well, let's go through all three of them. Let's start with the soup kitchen building.
Well, I started with the church, right?
Yeah, the church, which was the church of the.
First Congregations?
It's across the street, I think, from First Congregation.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's a wonderful church, and
it's beautiful.
And the sermons there from the lady pastor that was giving the sermons.
That's right. It's Episcopal.
Episcopal. There's nothing short of phenomenal. She's great, and I had gone to a few of those services. She was great every time. It was always very spiritual to go to. Do a Sunday morning with her.
It's a beautiful church inside too, and it's there's every so often there's concerts there that raise money.
The Bread Box, Bruce John does, and his wife have done such a great job of bringing great talent there, and then raising money for the soup kitchen, and having it just be another arm to do something sweet, but for the soup kitchen, but also have it be something that's instead of just, can you please send us a check? It's sort of like you get a nice evening of music, and then what I've tried to do is support what he's done there for many, many years, where I would just pay the artist that he'd book. So it didn't, every penny that was sold in tickets went to, the soup kitchen. I just haven't been able to do that in the last year or so, because the foundation's getting lower and lower on money, but. I still save money for the soup kitchen, just for other things that are going to come up, and they do come up,
Absolutely.
Constantly. So I keep on, every time I see Kimberly, I go, "Hi, do you need any money?"
She goes, "Yeah."
She goes, "Just get out of here." She goes, "I'll call you if I really," she feels bad about it. But I said, "Kimberly, that's, don't feel bad about it. It's like, If you need help, she's just so wonderful. She's a blessing.
She
We're
really
so lucky
is.
to have her.
It's phenomenal, really. And now tell us the next building you saved.
Then the next building was the building next to the church.
Aha.
And we
Beautiful.
we revamped that whole building, and then we had to find out we had to distribute food up on the second floor. We had to create an elevator.
Oh boy.
We had to build an elevator, so it was like, we need an elevator for a soup kitchen? Oh, wow, okay. This thing's getting pretty big, But, then she goes, well, we served 1.6 million meals last year to 10 communities, So, all the surrounding communities are coming to Willimantic to get some food. And, we think it's wonderful, but it's just, it's exhausting because there's a lot of volume, that's getting handed out And then she's doing diapers, she's doing clothes. I mean, she does so many things besides feeding people. You know,
Right.
they're hurting in so many ways. She's helping like 15 different ways. So she's like a gift from God.
She really is, and and this is one of the things I try to emphasize at the Capitol. We do all this for the surrounding communities, and we need to be recognized for it, and not just recognized by saying thank you. We need to be recognized financially as well. And you've done so much for us that way, David, that I'm just incredibly appreciative, and I do brag about you with the Capitol. And I say now it's time for the state to help out too.
Well, that's very sweet of you, but you know, it's just something too where what I'm also trying to do too is assist the government so that we don't have to totally have it be a taxpayer expense. You know, I think if it's a good partnership between government and the private sector. What I wish is that we had more local foundations in town that were supportive of it, and and more business people that could see their way to do a little bit more help for that place, because you know, this is our community. We all live here, and it's like it's what we make it. You know.
Sure, but it's also something that should be recognized by the surrounding towns and by the state. It's not like
Right.
it should just be ignored. And so I just want to, Dennis is pointing and say.
I'm
this
pointing
is
to
an
this
emerg-
notice of the concert on the 14th of
Yes.
June, and I want to get into the details because I don't think we covered it yet.
We didn't, but
And
I
Well,
one more-
we will, but this is important stuff too,
I-
because
we just want to do
Well,
one more
what
building. one
we're
more
trying to
building.
what we're trying to do is get some help before I have to go to beneficial finance and borrow money to
No,
get
we
on.
don't. We don't want that.
You know, it's-
No, that can't happen. We can't let that happen.
I'm just teasing, but I'm just saying it's still. It's
Right.
just-
Well, I know that, but,
You know,
but it
it's-
is getting to be, you know, you've done so much, and you know.
well, it's just
One
it's,
man-
you know, it's just something where you know, we can't lose sight of the fact of, you know, that's a responsibility now for the 10 communities that it's supporting, to not forget, you know, the town of Wyndham and that soup kitchen. It can't be just put on one town government to carry it.
Yes,
That's exactly right.
that's
Thank you
a
so
great
much for
point.
That, and it can be, yeah. So I'm just thrilled that you said that, because that is something that we need to stress to the region and have them give us the recognition that you have done for us, and also come to this concert
Yeah.
that Dennis is talking about on June 14th, 5 o'clock here at the Shaboos Station.
And it's a fun way to raise money.
Yes,
You know, we have a little fun doing it instead
Exactly.
of just, hey, this is a stick up, write me a check. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And the other thing is, you got one more building. Tell us about it.
Oh, that's right, the garage
Yes.
that I dedicated to Ray
Okay.
Armini. He's been another hero.
Yes, he
That's-
has. He's Brag for Bread Man.
He's the best. And
He is.
you know, I wanted to name that building after him,
Good.
and I wanted to name the second building after Jeffrey Austin's wife.
Oh, good. Excellent.
And I did. It's just we haven't had a chance to put up her marker yet. You know, that the building is dedicated in her honor,
Yeah.
as we haven't yet for Ray's building. But we will. It's just something where what we're trying to do is keep them in food before we invest in bronze plaques. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
sure. Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
And let me know. I mean, I'll give a citation to each one, and a bronze plaque is a little more expensive than a citation, but I can do the citation.
Yeah. I just want something on those buildings to say,
Yeah.
you know, to give them credit, so that when people go to get their food every day, they know that, you know, Jeff Austin's wife was a big donator for many years
That's
to that
wonderful.
soup kitchen. You know, the plunge, she financed that every year.
Yeah.
She was wonderful, and
Absolutely.
she was just very dedicated to Willimantic, as she was to the hospital and the
Yeah.
camp. She had a pulse on Willimantic, and she was carrying out Jeff's wishes, because Jeff made his fortune here,
Yep.
and he wanted it kept here.
Yes.
He didn't want it given to Harvard.
No, I
know what I
love
mean?
that, or wherever else, overseas.
Right. That's what I mean. You know, and sometimes I get the feeling that other people are, you know, that are involved in that foundation now, are hobnobbing in Boston instead of keeping the money where it belongs, right here. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good point. Dennis.
I just wanted to point out that I knew Jeff Austin way back when I was living in Vernon, and I was working in the Rockville Legal Aid Office. Jeff was a young lawyer, and he was doing cases in the Superior Court at 69 Brooklyn Street, and I got to know him very well. Heck of a nice guy. This is before
Yep.
he became well-to-do by, he
Yep.
invested in the mobile home park. And he was a really nice guy. Always. I mean, and I can't say the same thing about every lawyer I've ever met. I'll tell you, but
Right.
he was a good guy, and it was easy to tell from the start. And then after he passed, I got to know his wife because I was town attorney in Mansfield for 14 years, and she not only helped people down and out people in this town, but she also helped Mansfield too.
Yes,
And
she
so
did.
when I was town attorney, I met with her a few times because she made some donations to Mansfield. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but there was some reason I had to do some legal paperwork on it. And she probably donated to the community center.
I think she did into the children at the school.
Definitely.
Parks for the kids at
Yes.
the playgrounds.
Yes.
At the grammar schools, and she was just.
I wish I could think of her first name.
She was a gift from God. She was really special.
She was genuinely a sweetheart.
She was special, and,
And-
this is really good that we're remembering her.
Yes.
Don't think we've forgotten her for a second.
No.
She deserves to be remembered. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No doubt about it.
She was an amazing partner to Jeff, and
Oh, yeah.
and had his pulse in her mind, and she knew this community and supported it wholeheartedly, and she believed that the fortune should stay here.
Well, like I said, I got to know her very well, talked to her a lot, sat down with her, met with her. I remember one time I was over at the Children's Court over across the street, which was a building that was once owned by the people who owned our home. That would be the folks with Electromotive, with the Greers.
Right.
Well,
And they own that.
Philip Lauder, actually. Philip Lauder. And,
Philip Lauder, but eventually it was.
well, the Greers.
Yeah,
actually,
when
he passed
she
away.
remarried after he passed away.
That's two great families. Yeah.
Great families. I mean,
Great.
I mean, I talked to Mike Magliocco, the attorney who goes way back, and he knew. I never met the Greers, but he knew them well, and he knew so many people who worked at Electromotive. They never had, from what he says, they never had a labor union over there because they took such good care of their employees. And they used to have picnics for them and everything. And Mrs. Greer, of course, was a singer.
And I used to raid her cookie jar.
I bet you did.
At her house when I go over with my parents,
Yeah,
and
well-
she had a candy drawer too.
Well, we are proud to. We are proud to
I
carry.
knew where everything was.
We are
I
proud
was
to carry.
5.
That's impressive.
We are
You
proud
got
to carry
around as a
on.
5-year-old, didn't
I was
you?
5 years old.
I can't get a word in. You guys are. I mean, I'm going to
we
leave.
have
You're
fun.
doing okay, Dennis.
I'm going to leave.
Dennis,
Okay.
you never get denied.
But-
We tell you right in
I
here.
don't even remember. You were there when Tom Beersley did that. We did that big event honoring the
Yes.
Josie and Jesse and Philip Lauder.
Yes.
Because of the house. We're so proud to be carrying on in that place where they lived.
And
Is
I will at the
They were
festival
such great
again.
people.
I will sing one of Jesse's big hits.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
I'll
That'd
be singing Willimantic.
Willimantic, my hometown.
Yeah, that's like
Fantastic.
that's like #1 in my books.
Well, there's an all-time jazz favorite with lyrics called "Just You, Just Me,"
Yeah.
and that is Jesse Greer's song, Tin Pan Alley.
Yeah.
And we've seen videos of her singing with a pianist and doing her, Sophie Tucker
Yeah.
routine. Because I'm old enough to remember on the Ed Sullivan Show, Sophie Tucker was on quite often. She was a regular guest,
She sure was, yeah.
and she was from Hartford.
I just want to say one thing about that because I find it to be quite amazing that we had that fundraiser for the Mill Museum in honor of Philip Lauder and Jesse, Lauder, Harmon Lauder, and then at the same time, and she was the understudy for Sophie Tucker,
Right.
and at the same time it was celebrated that it was Sophie Tucker's 100th anniversary in Hartford, the exact same year Isn't that wild? I just was so excited that
Sometimes
we had
it's
done
in
that.
the stars,
It's just amazing. Yeah. It was an amazing thing. But we were able to raise money. You came to that. David
Oh, of
was
course,
at
I
that.
wouldn't have missed it for the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
There
were
was
there.
quite a crowd there, I'll tell you.
It was beautiful.
It was
Yeah.
amazing. We had, if you within the house on the television set, we had videos
Wow.
of not of Sophie Tucker, but of
Just,
Josie
Josie
Greer.
Greer.
Josephine, yeah.
Josephine Greer singing with a pianist, and it was amazing.
And boy, was she kind. She was so good to.
Yeah.
When she ran the electromotive to the thousands of people that worked for her, she cared about every person that worked there. Every person. She was just
Well, this is what Mike
amazing,
Magliocco
you know.
told.
And then
Mike-
she
yeah.
look what she did for the YMCA,
The
and
hospital.
and the hospital, and the temple, and
That's right.
You know, I mean,
St.
just
Mary's.
St. Mary's. I mean, she was. It didn't matter that she was a Jewish woman. She took
Right.
care of churches.
Yes.
If they needed help, they were just whoever needed some help. They were there for this community.
Well, you're carrying on in their tradition. You have carried on in their tradition. You were a neighbor, and right up on North Street with your family, and you lived in the neighborhood. I remember you.
Well, see, we were all lucky enough to be kids of the greatest generation.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
we were taught,
Yeah.
by the best. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Remember John Love, and he ran the American Thread. He was right up the street. He was,
Yeah.
north in Lewiston, and then I mean, just so many wonderful, wonderful people. All the business people in those days. I mean, the car dealers, Arthur Roy, the Middlemans. I mean, they're just wonderful families.
Well,
Morris Leonard. I mean, they were just all. What can we do to help? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
John Weil. I mean, everybody.
well, I grew up in New Britain, and one thing people always talk about Stanley Works, and New Britain had a lot of factories. Believe me, it was like a factory town. Everybody works in a factory. Everybody works. They call it working in the shop. All my relatives did. My parents, and the great thing about it was today, the people who run the big corporations, you don't see them.
Right.
But
They're in New York.
like you were talking about, the guy that was the president of Stanley Works, you see him downtown, and he would talk to people. And
That's right.
He was a member of the community. Don Davis. We'd see him and say, that guy is the president of Stanley. I see the guy, and my dad would say, that guy is the president of Stanley
Well,
Works.
look at WTIC. It stands for the Travelers
That's
Insurance
right.
Company.
That's right.
WTIC.
I know.
Different-
My father
the
was
world
gonna
has changed.
actually worked there
Yeah.
as the accountant for WTIC back in the day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he passed away before he got to be able to do that.
Yeah. And
But,
what that family, what they did, oh my God, they were just
yeah,
wonderful.
Yeah.
And look about Mrs. Fox, G. Fox.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh.
My
She was
mother worked for
incredible.
her.
Beatrice Auerbach Fox.
Yeah,
Yes,
she was an
yes,
amazing woman.
yes.
So I'm
Right.
just saying, we were so lucky. We got to learn
Oh
from the best. So
Yes.
well.
that's why I'm not. I don't. I got nothing coming. It was just sort of like, look, you're going to do it the right way, or you're going to get your arms broken. That was my father used to say that to me.
Yeah.
Because there is no other alternative. You just do it this way, otherwise you're dead. Yeah.
Yeah, the community was community overall. That's what it was all about with those people, and we were lucky to be born at that time.
We really
that was
were.
a great time to. I was born during the war, and
Yeah.
I remember when I didn't remember the war, but I remember when I started to become conscious of what was going on around me.
Yeah.
I remember them talking about it. Everything was
yeah.
during the war, and those people. You talk about you said it, the greatest generation.
How about Dick Nassif and Mr. Rice?
Oh, Dick
There you
Nassif.
go.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They
And
started
let's
the
talk about some
radio
more.
station
That's
here.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, the Crosbys.
Yeah. Yes. Oh,
What a
yeah.
great family.
I know.
Oh, it
It's
was
just-
what? I
it's
mean,
just-
come on,
It's a wonderful
unbelievable.
thing.
Yeah,
It's too bad that we've lost that overall sense of community. You know what I really realized was one of the concerts that you did. I started going around interviewing people, and I realized that all the people like Bruce John and you and all the people that grew up together. You created the Shavu Inn.
When you were
that
just
you
young
had
guys
just young
and
people,
women.
and you had family members who were connected to all the businesses and industry here.
Yeah.
And that sense of community, in some ways, still is here. Not like it was, but you still have some of that. And we're trying to get that back, because that would be the way that we're going to save our society, is to make sure we have that sense of community. Because a lot of that, being able to build a good-sized business here in Willimantic is going to be the way we're going to be able to their role.
Yeah.
And it's the same for all the communities all throughout the country. And that's why I'm so glad more manufacturing is being done here in the state of Connecticut and throughout the country, that it will bring back those communities. It will probably take time, but I want to see communities back. I want to see those jobs in these communities so that people say, hey, I'm going to get out of school, I'm going to do this in this particular business, and have it all throughout the country instead of having it overseas.
I keep praying that I'm going to get to see it before I'm gone.
Yeah, well, you're working at it. And you're
I'm
creating
trying.
it. You're
I'm-
doing it.
But
You're
I'm also
doing it.
trying to stay alive, too.
Oh, yeah, well, you got to do that.
Yes,
Tell us more
I
about
can I can relate to that.
You got to tell us more about your show.
That's right. The show is June 14th in the park at the Shubu stage. And the whole army just said, David, we miss doing this event. We want to come. We want to help you. When's the date? And I told them they go, I mean, like John Cafferty was booked. He goes, well, wait a minute. He goes, I'm on the shore at 9:30 down in Narragansett. He goes, can I go on early? I go, yeah. He goes, call me in. I'll be there.
Great.
You know, James Montgomery's coming in from Newport.
Fabulous.
You know, and then all the Stones horn section guys are coming. The Rolling Stones guys are coming.
Wow.
Plus 2 or 3 other amazing horn players. One's from the Springsteen band and one's from Rod Stewart's band. You know, on top of the Stones horn section guys.
Simply amazing.
And then all the Saturday Night Live guys. You know, like the conductor is coming. That Christine's coming. Christine Ullman, the
Oh,
PI.
you gotta
wow,
have
fabulous.
her.
She's coming, you know.
Trauma.
So I'm just saying, you know. And then we've got Jeff Pitchell there for the kid
Yeah,
that
yeah.
plays like Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Right.
He's great, man. He's he's got a lot of fans, so he'll be there. You know, so I mean, we got a stacked deck. You know, we got a good 2.5 hour show. We'll play from like 6 to 8:30. And then we've got a great AC/DC tribute that I brought here a few years ago. Extremely popular, you know, and all of it this year. You know, we're trying to be in tune for the times,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of people struggling that really are struggling. So I said, you know what? Let's give the people a gift, and let everybody in for free. Do volume. And sell beer and water and soda, and then give all that money to the soup kitchen, and then maybe we can pass the hat to to defray some of the costs, for me, for all these musicians and production, and because the foundation this year isn't doing this, I'm doing it personally, so it's all my own. It's my own. It's all on me as one person. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do.
It's not the foundation, because I'm saving what's left in the foundation, for emergency situations, like for the soup kitchen, for different things, not
Sure.
to buy food, and then also for my pledges. I have to honor what's left in my pledges.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be terrible to pledge a certain amount of money and then say, "Oh, by the way, I don't have any money. I can't finish the pledge." So that would be another thing where my arms would get broken.
Yeah, Dad wouldn't like that.
He'd come back out of the grave and go, "You're dead.
we
Dead
don't want him
meat,
to come
yeah.
out for that. We want him to come back for a good reason.
Sell your car and pay it off. Ride your bike to work."
Yeah. But
Well,
you-
this is
you- you've
this is
done-
so exciting.
Yes, it
This is
is.
going to be.
Yeah.
We're going to be out of town for a few days, but we will be here for this.
Yes.
And if you need somebody to help pass the hat, I will be glad to.
Well,
to help.
we're getting a lot of help from the Rotarians
Yeah,
Oh, that's
yeah.
great.
and the Lions Club.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
God
yeah.
those two
Well-
organizations are going to help me
Oh,
this
they're
year.
great. They're great.
And Ernie Eldridge has been great from the Rotary Club.
Yeah.
He's with Timmy DeVivo. He's been wonderful. And then Eric, he is such a sweetheart from the Lions Club.
Yes, though we have great.
Oh.
I'm a Lion, so I'll be there
Yeah, he's-
helping out as
yeah.
well. So is Dennis the Lion.
We're Lions.
And they're gonna help check IDs and
Great.
sell beer tickets, that kind of stuff, just to assist. And David Wallner's helping us, of course, like he always does.
Fabulous.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Yeah, so
That's
we're in
great.
good shape.
There's a real community.
He's
Lover.
totally- yeah.
She takes good care of this community.
Yeah. So I mean, we're
Great guy.
what we're praying for is like a 75-degree, 80-degree day.
Yeah.
And then by the time it's 6 o'clock, it goes down to about 75 or 78.
Sure.
And then
June
hang-
14th, you should get it. I mean,
should get
Well,
it.
it's a good time of year for weather.
It's
It is
definitely a good time of year.
Absolutely.
You know.
Hey, we're
June,
gonna-
July.
We're going to stop for our sponsors just for a minute. I just want to say this is such an exciting show. Don't go anywhere, folks, because we will be right back after these messages. This is Susan Johnson. I'm here with my co-host Dennis O'Brien and our incredibly special guest David Foster, talking about his show that's coming on June 14th, beginning at 5. The gates will open at the Shaboo stage. We will be right back again after these messages.
Hey, it's Dennis O'Brien on Let's Talk About It. And we have our incredibly special guest today, David Foster. We have Susan Johnson, my co-host, and we also have Matt Rupard, the producer.
Yay,
Great,
Matt.
Hey, Matt.
All right,
Love you,
all right.
Matt.
Great show today, and we're talking about the big event coming up on Friday, the 14th of June, starting at, I guess doors open at 5 o'clock, but the show probably starts at what
6.
time, David? 6?
6 sharp, yeah.
Okay, that's perfect for us because we'll be doing a live show that same night here. And as soon as our show is over, that night we'll come running over.
That's why I did that.
Yeah,
You didn't know that?
yeah.
Oh,
I
thank
said,
You
we can't start the show until the show's over.
Oh, that's
Until this show's
fabulous.
over. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Very
Yeah,
good.
that's
I
right.
love
Because
that.
we have other people that do events in town on Fridays, and I told them, I said, bring your portable radios with you and listen to the show.
That's right.
I just wanted to, so now you mentioned the 14th show that we have at 5 o'clock. We have the star, our former speaker, Joe Arasimowicz, who is on the
Oh.
Capitol Report, Channel 8, every Sunday at 10:30.
Oh, wow. That's a
And
big one.
so
yeah.
he's going to be here with a student.
He's going to come to the
Jennifer-
show.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Jennifer
Joe
Carwell.
Arasimowicz.
And also his daughter, who's going to Eastern Connecticut State University, Katie Arasimowicz, and she will be here on the show too, talking about ECSU, Eastern Connecticut State University.
Isn't that great?
And then we're going to
Yeah.
bring him over to the
Yeah.
Shaboo stage.
Oh, I'd love to meet him.
Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
let's see
he's,
what we can do.
Yeah, that'd be great.
He was born in New Britain like me, but he moved out when he was young and younger than me when I left. I left when I was about 27. And but anyway, he was Speaker of the House, and he's also the coach of the very excellent Berlin Redcoats football team. He has been for quite a while.
Right.
But he's a football coach and a great public servant, Joe Arasimowicz. So he's going to be on the show on the 14th. That's going to be a great day for Let's Talk About It.
Yes,
We'll
it
have
is.
Joe Arasimowicz, and then we'll go over to the Shaboo stage and hope to see thousands and thousands of you all for the concert,
Yes,
for the
indeed.
Shaboo concert, and it's free. It's just for charity for the soup kitchen.
Well,
And-
we have like 2,000 or 3,000 people for the Shaboo Festival.
yes,
But it's $30 and $40 a ticket.
right.
This is free.
That's still cheap.
So,
So,
we're,
yeah, just
we're,
make
we're
your
looking at,
donations.
if we have weather, we should.
yeah.
You should do well.
We should. I mean,
But you gotta
No.
make those donations.
Everybody
for
gets
the soup
in.
kitchen, and so
Just-
that would be good. So they make the donations, and
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to pass the
Then
hat.
we're just going to charge them to get out. No. I'm just,
No, we're going to pass the hat. We're going
No,
to
Yeah, play
no
that song.
no contribution. We're going to have a big hat.
twisted. Come on down.
I'm going to have my Dennis O'Brien, Susan Johnson hat, and I'm going to turn it over. And there's a lot of room in there because I got a big head, and we're going to fill up that hat with coins
Dennis.
and bills and all kinds of stuff.
yeah, money.
Okay.
We got to take care of
This-
the people.
So that's June 14th, Friday. Doors open at 5. Show starts at 6 p.m.
That's right.
We got the Shaboo All Stars and all these great players.
And I'm standing up when I sing now. I don't have to sit in a chair.
That's amazing.
That's wonderful.
That's so great.
I'm gonna put on some dancing shoes, I think, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the shingling. I'm gonna do the
Ooh.
Wow.
Watusi probably.
Well,
Yeah.
you are
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna do a few things.
You are
my
gonna
chubby
prove-
checker thing, man.
you are
Right.
going to prove Bob Dylan's wrong when he says you can come back, but you can't come back all the way. You're coming all the way back, man.
Well, I'm trying,
Not-
man.
maybe not all the way, but almost all the way.
Well, almost all.
Almost all the way. Not to be a 20-year-old or anything like that.
Well, I won't be prancing across the stage. But I used
so
to
Bob is
prance.
right. So Bob is right.
I used to prance in
All
those
right.
days. I could,
Yeah, very cool.
You can
But-
come back, but you can't come back all the way. But you're going to come back most of the way, and that is going to be something to see in and of itself. So, and then you're going to have the tribute bands called
Back
Black
on
on Black.
No, back in black.
But back, oh Jesus, Black on Black. That sounds like Blonde on Blonde.
Yeah, you're thinking of Back on Black.
yeah. It's like
Baby
I'm on my
back.
baby back.
It's great. It's
Yeah, I
great.
can sing a little too. Not like you.
Yes.
You
But
sound good, Dennis.
yeah, like I sang for you once, and you said Don't quit your day job. I'll never
Well, I
forget
still
that.
say that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you didn't get that much better.
No. I sang with Jason on the air once, and we sang. It was an easy song to sing. It was one of those songs from the one of the greatest rock and roll albums I ever heard, and that was the Traveling Wilburys' first album.
Yeah.
And it was The End of the Line. It's pretty. You don't have to have a lot of range in your voice, which I don't have. So I sang along with Jason. Jason played. I don't play anything. And somebody came in and said, "Who was that?" And they said, "Dennis." And he said, "Oh, not bad." I said, "I'll take not bad. Not bad is good."
Well, just I don't mean to be mean or anything, but I much rather sing with Susan. She reminds me, a lot of Linda Ronstadt when she sings with me. So,
Oh, thank you.
She's better looking than I am, but I don't know about singing.
Well, we didn't want to mention that, but I mean,
I did.
for your sake.
I did.
But
We're a little bit out of control here, folks, but that makes for a great show.
but that's what we love to do here. We love to have
Right,
fun
right.
on these interviews.
Exactly.
Because that's what we love to have fun when we're raising money too. And
That's right.
Think about that, you guys. So blankets, beach chairs, but no coolers are allowed. So you got to remember that, because we're gonna have all that stuff available. So,
Yes, we want to sell it.
But you're welcome to bring beach chairs and blankets and stuff like that, and we'll get that whole field full. It's going to be wonderful.
It is going to be great.
It's going to be great. I mean, it's going to be great to see everybody. It'll be a reunion.
The music of the Shabu All Stars is not just for older folks like me. It's for all generations.
That's right.
Kids,
Yeah.
teenagers. Rock. It rocks. Okay. It's blues. It's rock and blues is what it is. That's what I call it.
Yeah, and I have some special surprises.
All
Yeah,
right.
Go ahead.
Well,
That's a surprise. That's right.
No, it's
I just asked a dumb question. I don't do that often.
no. But I mean, I love to always have surprises. That's,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and my surprises are they're real,
They're worth showing up for.
and they're going to be some young, and they're going to be some old.
Yeah.
The surprises.
Fantastic.
So
Very
I'm going to
nice.
try to cover the gamut. You know what I mean?
All right.
But I do have a young musician I think he's 5 and he plays the ukulele.
Oh my
All
God!
right.
How wonderful
He's
is that?
really shy.
Oh, I love
Oh,
that.
my.
But I'm going to shadow him and just
How
hold
precious.
on to him,
Oh.
and then when he plays, he'll play about 3 or 4 chords, and I'll go, "He's out of material, get lost." And I'll say about his wife. But anyway, we're going to have some fun.
Again,
That's a
it's-
cute little one, yeah. Aw.
It's Friday, June 14th. Friday's a great night to have a concert. Everybody's looking forward to a great weekend, and you got a couple days off
It's gonna be
ahead of
wonderful.
you, unless you work weekends like I do. But I work selectively because I work for myself.
And of
Yeah.
course, you can buy.
And Susan, of course.
Sorry, you can buy beer, soda, and food. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about the food.
It's going to be Tony's Pizza. We're going to feature them this year.
Very nice.
We're
Great.
going to just try to sell as much pizza as we can that night.
Yeah.
'Cause we got a pizza town here.
Yeah, we're
Yes,
gonna.
we do.
So we're looking forward to that as well, and we'd like to thank Mama's Pizza for they're going to take care of feeding the bands
Fabulous.
in,
that's
in the
fabulous.
senior center. We'll thank the town of Wyndham for letting us have our dressing rooms there that night and
Excellent.
to do our catering there.
Isn't that great to have that building there?
And we want to thank the Wyndham Club, the country club, for donating some golf carts so they can take us old geezers to the stage and back.
Oh,
That's
impressive.
with our instruments
Timmy
and stuff like
DeVito,
Very
that.
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
impressive.
Yeah.
So
Very
that's going to be a nice thing, and Denny Gates is going to
Another great guy.
donate some water
wonderful.
for us to sell. So
Excellent.
that's going to help too. And look, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be easy. It's going to be very inexpensive, but a wonderful evening. And we just have to get some good weather. If you could just say a prayer for
Well,
some
Wayne
good
will
weather.
take care of us. He'll take
Yeah,
care
maybe
of us.
Wayne can talk to his friend that does the weather with him in the
Say a
morning.
prayer or something.
And we'll
And
get
you-
some weather.
Wonderful. And you've got the Lions Club and the Rotary Club members helping out with collecting the donations.
Yeah.
And,
So
and we're
very
going to be
excited.
part
Shout
of
out to Ernie. Ernie's worked
Thank
hard
you.
for me on
Thank
this.
you, Ernie.
Yeah.
Ernie Eldridge, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
He's done well.
And
Yeah.
Dennis and Susan will be out there. We're Lions, so we'll be collecting money.
Dennis and Susan, where would we be without them? It's just, it's unbelievable. It's like, the other day I went to do the opening at the Murray Building, and
Wasn't that great?
I was so excited.
Oh, I
you know?
got this is a great
So I
story.
knocked on the door. And
This is a
they
great
said,
story.
I said, "Can I come in? I'd love to see this." They go, "No, you're not invited." I went, "Oh, okay." So I started to walk away. And Susan was at the podium addressing the whole crowd. She goes, "No, don't let that guy in. It's David." She's right in the middle of her speech.
She told me. She
I
told
go,
me.
"Susan, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you." She goes, "No, come in." So all of a sudden the doorman goes, "Oh, I guess you can come in," you know. So, you know, but I mean, it was just so wonderful to see the grand opening of that building. You know, I mean, anything that goes on in this town, I'm excited about it. I want to,
Yeah.
I want not that I'm not complaining that I wasn't invited, but I'm just saying, I want to see it. You know, so it was just so sweet that Susan was there. And she go, so what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, out there in Willie Land is, if it wasn't for Susan Johnson, you know, I'd be, you know, parking cars. I think, you know, somewhere in the back lot. I think. You know, she
Well.
always seems to get me into these big events and stuff, and it's like, thank God, you know. And a couple times Dennis has done the same thing, you know.
Well, yeah,
we
but they
wanna
didn't
thank
invite
you
me
so
to
much.
this thing either, so I didn't go. I stayed home and worked, and I missed it. And probably if I knocked on the door and tried to get in, I don't think they would have let me in.
Oh, yes,
everybody,
they would've.
you know-
I would have come to you too. I let you in. Come on, I come after.
Everybody-
I just wanted to hear you say that. That's all.
Everybody talks about going to the races at Thompson Speedway. I just go, no, go show up on Bolivia Street. I'll have my lawnmower, and I'll be racing Dennis
I'll
across
be
the
taking
front lawn.
pictures.
It's like a great race. The whole neighborhood's out going, who is he? Who is that nut cutting the lawn? You know,
I
hey,
got
can you cut my house? It's so twisted. But,
I came home from I was up at the Mansfield Community Center swimming, and I knew the grass was real long, and I said, "Oh, geez, I got to get a cut. I got to cut it. I come home and I said, "My God, somebody cut the grass. Who did that?" And then somebody said, "David Foster drove up here with this huge, you know, and he cut it." He said, "You know, you got to take care of the Dennis O'Brien. He's the poor old guy, can't cut his grass."
yeah. And then you know, so my next event here, I think, is going to be the Do Matt's show.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing that too.
All right.
Oh, gee, hey,
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be
you gotta
fun.
get him on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matt's
well,
got his own show now. Was it Matt? 4 p.m.
No, you know what?
4
It's going to be the addition of. I feel sorry for these old guys, so I'm going to put Uncle Lefty on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of those weird-
Yeah, probably.
Jack Nebbit, I'm glad to
Something
be
like
here.
You do a very good imitation of an older person.
This is from. It's from.
I had plenty of practice.
Actually, Matt's show precedes our show.
Yes, it does.
It was just on today before us, and 4 to 5 p.m.
Yes.
You started right at 4, or is it
405.
4:05. Oh, just like us.
Just like
5:05.
you guys.
Okay, and then you go till around 5.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, and then we come on.
Yes.
That's
Matt's
fantastic. What a
keeping
night!
it-
What a night for radio! What a great
Such a
radio
night.
night!
Such a night.
Such a night!
But
such a night.
Matt's keeping the future of music bright and sunny
Yeah. Well, he's
here
got
in
some.
Wyndham.
Got some
Which
for
is,
the younger
which is
crowd.
so important, you know what I mean?
It is.
You know, he's the future. You
He
know what I
is.
mean?
I think you should do FM too.
He's a young Bill Graham. There he
Right,
is,
right.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
Tell
he
us a little
could,
bit more about the show because we're going to be winding down in a few minutes here. So I just want to
Just
go
repeat
through
the dates and everything,
what you're
'cause
doing,
just to
the
make sure
dates
people
and the people who are
don't
going to be
forget.
there.
It's Friday
playing
night.
music.
Friday night, June 14th.
That's it.
Gates are at 5. Show 6 o'clock sharp. We're going to front load it. John Cafferty will start early with our band because he's got a night gig at on the shore at 9:30. So he's going to go on first instead of last. So get there early, you know, because everybody, you know, he's the biggest star of the evening. So we're going to front load him.
What was the name of that movie that song was in?
Eddie and the Cruisers.
Eddie and the Cruisers.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I saw that.
Yeah,
Wow.
that song's made him famous all over the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
He'll
Those
make
were
a
the
living
best
for the rest
days
of
of
his
my
life
life.
because of that song. But and then of course my dear friend James Montgomery is coming in
Oh,
from
what an entertainer he is.
yeah, from Newport, and you know,
The energy he generates. Wow.
he's unbelievable.
Phenomenal.
He's unbelievable, and he's like so important to this community. I mean, he sold out the Shabu probably 100 times. So I mean, it's going to be so great to share the stage with him. And of course, the Beehive Queen, Christine Ullman's going to be with us. And
I love that woman. She's my friend on Facebook, and she actually we talk back and forth.
yeah, she's great.
That's
and then,
great.
Yeah.
of course, my piano player for 20 years, Mitch Chakor, who
Oh yeah.
you know played with Joe Cocker for many
Yeah,
years with
yeah,
Cliff,
yeah.
my
Wow.
guitar player.
Impressive.
And and Jeff Pitchell's coming in to play his Stevie Ray Vaughan bluesy style.
Texas,
You know, so I mean, and then the Stones horn section. You know, I mean, it's going to be deadly. Bobby Lineback from the Rhinestones, the ball guy. So, yeah, he's fabulous. So he's coming. That's going to be a treat. We haven't seen Bob in a long time. So, you know,
It's going to be
I
great.
can't wait to see everybody and have a wonderful time. We're going to raise money for the Soup Kitchen here in Wyndham, which is such an important thing for us all to do. We can't lose track of that.
I just wanted to mention one of my favorites of your close friends who's always there with you, Cliff Goodwin. I love Cliff Goodwin. I think he's he's an amazing showman. He puts on quite a show.
He is
and
amazing.
he can play that. What is he?
You can play that guitar, man.
He can play that guitar. That's right. I don't. It's not a
Many
bass
years with
guitar.
Joe Cocker, many years with Robert Palmer.
Right. He plays with.
And then he was invited to record his last album at Abbey Road
Yes, I know.
Wow.
with my rhythm section. So
Wow.
the last
He's
record
always
that he
there. He's
made
got
was-
white.
That's
Beautiful,
fabulous.
he's got a beautiful head of white hair. It's always been white as far as I
Yeah.
know. And
So, I
he
mean,
is such a showman.
Think about how lucky I am. I mean, you know, my rhythm section goes to England to record at Abbey Road.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and then I've got the Stones horn section backing me up for the horns,
Yeah, well,
and then the Saturday Night Live guys just to finish everybody and put them
Wow.
away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fabulous, absolutely.
So, yeah.
What a great show you put together. Wow, it's so impressive.
Yeah. So we got New York coming, we got Boston coming, we've got Rhode Island coming. I mean, they're all coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we gotta really blast this around so people know and know that it's free. But make a donation for the Soup Kitchen because that's how we're gonna, take care of this whole thing, and we're gonna take care of the people in the region who come from all over this. Not just here in Willimantic, they come from 10 towns and 10 surrounding towns.
You know, the hotels are gonna have a good weekend this
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
We're gonna fill them up like the old days. you know.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Very
well, I'll tell you what. The reunions have always been great. They've always been great. I remember when you had your first one at the Shabu stage. That was amazing. And I can't remember which of the great stars were there with you, but
That was that was probably the proudest night of my life.
I think that was amazing. I was
to stand on
so
that stage that I designed,
yes.
you know, and to see it built the way I wanted it built, and
We had quite a crowd too.
you know, my band's going, wow,
Yeah,
this is a stage, man.
yeah.
Yeah, I was just so honored that I was able to contribute and get it started. I just was thrilled, and I never forget when I told you, like, hey, David, you were on the show, and you were going to do the Shabu All-Star reunions. And I said, David, I got money for a stage.
You did, boy.
And then I never saw you so happy. I said, gee, he seems really, really happy. And
I was really, really happy.
And then I realized that you were spending every single time you did one of these concerts, you were spending $10,000 just to construct
Well, before
the
that,
stage,
yeah.
before we built the stage.
Yeah.
And then I paid it off 5 years early. My bill to the town.
Oh, thank you for that.
You know, I
And
saved them all that interest.
You did. You saved it.
Yeah, I can remember some of the concerts we
Yes.
did before the Shabu stage, and one of my favorite groups. Unfortunately, their lead singer has passed away. Is Orleans.
Oh
You
yeah.
had Orleans here.
Well, Larry
When I heard them sing-
was a member of this band. Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard him sing "Still the One" right here at Gilson Square, I was like, "Wow,
Yeah.
that's Larry." And then
Larry
Orleans.
did 8 years with us. I mean,
Yeah,
every time I
yeah.
played the casino, he was on the dates.
He was here. He was here more than once, but I mean,
And the last session he did, by the way,
Yeah,
was with me for Champagne Chevrolet.
yeah.
The one that you hear every day.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
Larry
yeah,
Hoppett's voice.
That's
and
him.
And me.
Yeah.
We were
Wow.
singing, Champagne's the best. That's us.
That's
All
right. That's right.
So that was the last recording of his life. It was with me.
Still the One was.
Fabulous.
I always
nice.
think of Susie, and Still the One. We're Still the One.
Oh, yeah.
That's what.
What a hit that was, you know.
Yeah. It was an incredible hit.
He was angry about that because John Hall made all the money.
He had some
wrote
other.
it.
He had some other big hits too, but Still the One is the one that I loved the most. And just to see that, I had chills going up and down my spine when I heard that song over at the Gilson Square when you brought Larry here.
Oh yeah.
And I remember Larry appeared on the Wayne Norman show. He interviewed him.
Oh yeah. Larry was a sweetheart. Boy.
He was such a good guy. So sorry when he passed.
Me too. I mean, it was.
Yeah, he was a good friend of yours.
It was
Yeah.
heartbreaking because it was a suicide. You know?
Oh, that is tough.
Oh, man.
Very, very tough. Very
Yeah. Well, that's
yeah.
That's yeah. I didn't know that.
He was struggling to put college money away for his twin daughters.
Oh.
So I said to him, Larry, you know, if you need some help, I'll help you. You know.
Yeah.
He goes, I just owe you the money if I did.
Oh.
A week later, he hung
What a
himself in his
guy.
garage. Yeah.
Very
Okay.
sad.
And his kids came home and found him.
No, it's
That's why it made me angry. It's like, why don't do that for your, don't do that.
No,
It's
No.
one thing if you're not happy, but don't let your kids see that. you know.
right. No,
Don't.
well,
So I mean, but
I just
whatever,
don't- I never
whatever. He was
understood
just
that
so
kind of
troubled. I
love
wish
thinking.
I wish there was something I could have done so he wouldn't have
well,
made
you
that
know
Right.
what?
mistake.
These are things that people decide and they do, and sometimes we get intervention and sometimes we don't.
Well, we're down to the last minute.
Well,
we
I
got a
wanna just-
reminder.
Well, look, what I want to say before the last minute is, I just want to say a prayer for all the musicians that died that you were all stars,
yeah.
like Matt Murphy, Charles Kelmus,
Oh yeah. Oh, I
Jimmy
love Matt
Biggins,
Murphy.
Cal David, Michael Finnegan.
Michael Davis
You
is
know,
going
I
too.
mean, all
that's
those
right.
guys were members of.
Yeah.
I've had enough band members that I've lost. We could have had 3 bands.
Yeah, yeah,
So we'll be thinking of you on the 14th.
yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you so
that's
much,
very
David.
good.
And don't forget, everybody, come on the 14th. Come at 5 o'clock. Don't forget, this is free, but it's donation time for the soup kitchen. That's why this is going on. Dennis?
Thank you so much for listening. This is Dennis O'Brien with David Foster, Susan Johnson, Matt Rupar, and we will be back next week. Next week we will have another great show for you. Thank you so much.